So I couldn't think of something to talk about in a video, so I took the easy way out and decided to do a Would You Rather. I'd tell you to rate the video and favorite it if you enjoy, but it's kind of a moot point, because it's not like I'm going to get enough for it to do anything anyway. Anyway, on to the questions. First, would you rather be constantly followed by 32 ducks for the rest of your life, or have 4-meter-long arms? Meter? Isn't it meter? I think that's the unit of measurement they use in Hogwarts, actually. But a meter, for those of us colonials over here, are, I think that's like between 13 and 14 feet. I think around 13 feet, I think. So, incredibly long. A very uncomfortable length for an arm. Now, this is actually an interesting one. I like the ones where they try and be creative like this. Now, are these 32 ducks, they're following me, they're going to be in my home, right? Whatever house I occupy, they're going to be in there. My house is going to be covered in shit and piss from these ducks because they are not potty trainable, I'm almost positive. But what they didn't say is that I can't do anything to these ducks, you know? But what I assume, because of the question, is that if I kill one of these, a new duck will appear, you know, because it has to be 32. I chop one's head off, 31. Oop, magic duck, pop up, 32. So my plan is I am going to go on a walking tour of Africa and everywhere on Earth where people are starving and need food. And they can just walk behind me, grab a duck, go home and cook it. And guess what? Magic duck reappears right into this flock of 32. Infinite ducks, infinite food. It's a win-win, you know? I'm going to make a lot of money with it. I don't have to charge a lot for the ducks, but I'm sure I can get on Oprah's show or something, and then we can have a funny little thing like, you get a duck, you get a duck, you get a duck, because I'll always have more ducks, you know? It's going to be a good thing. Ducks will soon be the other white meat if I had that blessing, you know? And 4-meter-long arms, that would just be uncomfortable. My first thought was, I'm going to be really strong because of all that leverage, you know, like super, super long arms. If my bicep area is like 7 feet long, or I guess it'd be like 5 feet long, and the rest of my arm is huge, like I'm going to have some crazy leverage. I'm going to be strong as shit. But I couldn't even use it in a useful way, you know? It'd be like having two spears on your arms. And I'm talking about fighting, you know, because obviously you'd have to do something fighting related if you had giant arms like this, but you couldn't even do that because they just treat you like you had spears and were like in an ancient Greek phalanx, and they just had to get past your arms, and then you couldn't reach in close enough to get them away from you, so they could just take you to the ground and beat the shit out of you, and because your arms are so long, you couldn't do shit, you know? So that would be really awful. Also, that is a lot of weight to be carrying around, you know? My arms right now, I'm pretty jacked, you know, I'm pretty swell, and so it's already a strain on my body to carry these huge, you know, tree trunks around coming out of my chest. So I can only imagine if I were even more ridiculously muscular, you know, it'd be a burden. So I'm going to say 32 ducks. I'm going to cure world hunger. 74% agree with me, 26% weren't smart enough to think about the potential you have to help people in this world with your ducks. All right. Next one. Would you rather find a book about everything about the past or find a book about everything about the future? Well, I mean, it'd be cool to have a book about the past because then I could go back and I'd be like, I don't think that the Kennedy assassination really went through that way. And I could read it and be like, holy shit, it actually was a government conspiracy or something like that. Not to say I'm a conspiracy theorist in that regard. I'm just saying it'd be interesting to be able to look back and see how history actually happened as opposed to how the winners wrote it. But then again, finding a book about the future, I mean, I just want to avoid the chapter and page where I die, you know. But then again, that'd be a huge book. I would just lose myself. You'd have to say book from the future. I gotta say book from the future. It'd be cool to check out shit about the past, but find out something about the future. I could do what they did in Back to the Future, and I could place bets on sporting events, or I could invest in a huge company when it starts, whatever the next Twitter or whatever the hell is. I would use it for my own advantage for sure, and I'd probably keep it a secret as long as I was the only one that had access to that information. 77% agree with me about the future, and 23% apparently just are history buffs. I mean, I can't really judge you there because probably going to be a lot of scary shit in the book about the future, you know, when the robots come and my duck plan fails and people starve to death, so maybe I'd be happier to look in the past. I don't know. Would you rather be with a blonde or be with a brunette? I am going to say brunette, but it's all pink on the inside, so it's okay. 70% said brunette. That's really interesting. 30% said blonde. Huh. That is odd, actually. Usually, when it's these like blonde questions, it's almost always blonde is the winning side. So, that's interesting. You surprised me today, Internet. Would you rather light your hands on fire for a minute or light your feet on fire for a minute? I'm going to say light my feet on fire for a minute because on a daily basis, I'm a big fan of walking. Walking, I do it all the time. It's a hobby of mine, but also using my hands. That's also a big hobby of mine. And I think it would be a lot easier to work with the recovery of your charred feet than the recovery of your charred hands, because then at least you'll be able to do something and stay productive if your hands aren't lit on fire. It's going to take months probably. A minute with your feet on fire or your hands on fire, how much is going to be left of your hands? All the flesh is going to be burned off. Your hands are going to be permanently messed up. I guess your feet are going to be permanently messed up too, but at least then people can't see your feet. They're not going to see the grotesque burn scars on your feet, but if you have that all over your hands are going to be messed up forever, Handshake's going to be an awkward endeavor for you, son. So I'm going to say light your feet on fire. Really, 68% agree with me. That's it's the winning side, so I can't really make fun. But really, 32% would rather have their hands lit on fire. You'd rather be able to walk around everywhere for, let's say, it takes 6 months to recover from that, not being able to touch anything, having your hands bandaged up. Like people would have to be like wiping your ass for you. It'd be very unpleasant. So reevaluate your choice, sir. Next one. Would you rather be born with red hair or have $100 stolen from you? I mean, I'd rather have the $100 stolen from me just because of all the teasing and shit that, especially little boys with red hair get. Girls, you're usually going to be okay unless you're, like, super, super gingery, and even then, that can be very attractive. I like that look. But I guess I'd have to say $100 stolen from me because it's way harder to be a guy with red hair than a chick with one. Wow, 50-50. Right down the line, 50-50. That's surprising. Technically, like 200 more people apparently would pick the $100, or 200 more people with big red hair. But Jesus, is $100 really worth that much to you? A bunch of people making fun of you? I mean, you gotta have some respect for red-haired people, or at least young red-haired boys who are constantly getting made fun of on the playground. Would you rather? Oh, another hair question. Long curly hair or straight short hair? Don't care. Don't care. I'm gonna say short. 56%. There we go. Doesn't matter. Would you rather be stabbed in the stomach 10 times or be shot in both kneecaps? Unless they're stabbing me with, like, a letter opener or something, there's no way I'm going to be living after 10 stabs to my stomach. Like, that's a lot. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Every one of those was a ninja with super fast hands, just pop, 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 right into your chest, or in your stomach, I guess. Like, that's going to kill you. You're going to bleed out. That's going to be unpleasant and woefully painful. It's also going to be awful when you get your kneecap shot, but at least with that, you're going to survive. I guess you could bleed out if they just leave you there, but you're going to survive. You're going to be okay. Maybe you won't be able to walk for a while, but you'll be good. But stabbed in the stomach 10 times? No, sir. No, sir. Not unless I know the size of that knife, son. Not making that foolish mistake again. Lordy, that's a story for another day, though. 52% agree with me at the kneecaps. 48% would rather be stabbed in the stomach 10 times. That's a death wish, man. That is a death wish for 48% of you. Thank God this isn't a real scenario, because there would be 52% of us who couldn't walk around, and 48% of us would be dead. So, on the bright side, there'd be plenty of food and resources to go around for the rest of us. So, alright. Would you rather always have mud in your shoes or always have a pebble in your shoe? Oh, Lord, a pebble. A pebble, definitely. You can like move the pebble around with your toes and kind of like tuck it to the side so it doesn't bother you too much. It's not going to be too bad. We've all felt that feeling before. And unless you wear shoes that are way too big for you, it's not going to be, ringing around in there. But mud in your shoes, every time you walk, it's going to be like a goofy sound, and people are going to be looking at you like, that dude just shit his pants or something. It's going to be a very ugly scenario. So definitely the pebble. Once again, 52% said pebble and 48% disagreed with me. Can't really extrapolate this one any further. Shitty question, whoever sent this in. Would you rather be a male police officer with a high-pitched voice or be a male police officer with the appearance of an 8-year-old boy? Who thinks that they would... What? Would you rather be a police officer who has a high voice or be confined to the body of a child and have to work as a police officer? Are you high? Are you serious, man? Who would, like if he had to, go deal with gangs or something, he'd have to, walk up and be like, hey, mister, you guys need to get out of here. And they'd be like, get out of here, fool, you're just an 8-year-old kid. And then they'd kill him, because he's 8 and he can't do shit about it. So, obviously, high-pitched voice. I don't know why I have to be a police officer in both of these scenarios. 58% agree with me and 42% are, God, I was really happy with the internet's responses today, but the more I do, the more I'm disappointed. For shame. You should have thought this through, internet. But anywho, that's all I have to say about this for now. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a rating. Or don't. It's all good. Love you.